Hey, it's Rob Travels with Dottie here, and I'm trying an experiment, and I want your feedback. Um, I'm gonna do, if this is successful, when I edit the video, I'm gonna do an opening like this where I describe what's in the video. And the reason I do that is because when I shoot the video, I usually don't know what the heck is going to happen or what I'm going to say. So I thought I'd sort of do a live description of the video up front so you know what you're getting before you start watching. So in this video, I just went for a random drive in Artesia. Showed you my vet, and then I just went on random roads sort of out in the country, and I stumbled onto the Eddy County Fairgrounds, old barns, oil pumps, some of which were rusted and not working, others that were working, and little homesteads and ranches and agriculture. There was an agricultural research center out in the middle of nowhere. And I talked about how I react to these things as I explore a new area. Like, when I look at a house, I think, hey, that's a family and that's someone's life. There's probably really fascinating stories in that little house right there. And that's how I think about things when I drive around. And to me, I'm passionate about it and I'm fascinated about it. And I tell you a story about how I got ripped off for $5,000 in Texas, investing what I thought I was investing in a gas well, from a very pretty girl that disappeared on me. $5,000 lesson. Anyway, let me know if it's a good idea to do this little preview at the start of the videos. Hey guys, Travels with Dottie here, and I'm picking up where I left off on the last video. Actually, I thought I'd do a second video and see what I might have to talk about to try to have a video or two in the bank so I don't get stuck. I actually, if you're paying close attention, I skipped a long form video day. I was a little sneaky about it, but I skipped. And I turned it on here only because on the corner here is my vet. It's called Critter Care. So I'm going to do a drive-by there. Dottie and I and George have an appointment there this coming Monday. And they're all waiting for me because I don't have a stop sign. Sorry. And that was Critter Care on the right. I'm going to show you a little bit of the sort of residential mixed neighborhood here in Artesia. So the stop signs run this way, that's for sure, because we got 3 of them to stop at here. So I'm quite active watching the Artesia Facebook page, locals. And I got to tell you that people that live here love it here. I've run into, as I meet people, talk to them, there's a high percentage of them that tell me they've lived here their whole lives. And I think there's 2 tells here. And I've talked about one of them many times. One is the lack of horns. And you can see today, if you saw yesterday's video, you can see how busy it got at noontime in traffic. You can't tell so much now because I'm on a back street. But I rarely hear anyone touch their horn. That's tell number 1. Tell number 2 is the degree of enthusiasm for the local high school football team. To me, tells me a lot about the unity and caring of a community. And this Artesia Bulldogs football is a big deal here. And a lot of the businesses know it because you see a lot of support from local businesses. So we just passed the McDonald's behind us. You didn't see that. So that'll probably, we do need to do a McDonald's. And I don't think I'm going to, in McDonald's, I'm not going to do, every other place I've just done, here, give me your basic cheeseburger. To me, McDonald's is different. And because I gotta tell you, their cheeseburger is more, in my mind, is in the category of, and by the way, right here on the left is a locksmith, ALK Locksmith. Both Deborah and I had really good experiences with them, so keep them in mind if you need a locksmith in Artesia. I'll go back over here. So, as I was saying, those are two tells for a great little town. You know what we're going to do, guys? We're going to pick a side street up here, and we're going to go down it and see what's there. What do you say? I see East and West Castleberry Road. And let's go to West Castleberry Road and see what's out there. We just passed Second Chances on the left there, where I got my clothes. Just passed it on the left. Okay, we're going to make a right here. And it looks like it's Route 55 in Eddy County. We don't know what's out here. We have no idea. It looks like there's a neighborhood back here. Who'd have thunk? Clearly on the right-hand side are, I think it's pecan trees. A farm. I saw, you see on the left, a very old, almost looks like it's about to fall down barn, but I did notice there are huge bays of hail in there, so it's still used. It may have looked like it's fallen down. I bet it's not. So this looks like, I'm looking on the map and I see a grid of streets here, and it looks residential. I always like to look at what these little houses look like. Kind of neat. It's a nice little neighborhood. So there's a big cross street up here, 13th Street, which to the right will take us back into town, but let's go left and see what's out that way. Is that somebody's house that's for sale, and it's surrounded by a fence that you can't see through, but it's for sale? No phone number or anything on there, but that whole house is for sale. All right. So we made a left here. I didn't pay attention to the name of the road, but I've got it up here. We are on South, oh, I said it, 13th Street. I'll do the map a little bit and see how far this goes. Well, pretty far. Let's see where it goes and what we see. I see some houses here a little bigger little on the bigger, fancier. Look at this one here on the right with like a copper roof. That's beautiful. And big fenced in area with a huge workshop or something. Oh, it's like a huge compound. Or I don't know, is that more than one house? It's a development of very nice looking high-end homes. No idea what these homes would go for, but there's a really big one back there. Yeah, there's some big homes here. Big homes. And this one looks like they have a corral around it. So Mendoza, it's a ranch, Mendoza Ranch. In Artesia Horse Council Arena. Oh, that's big. And what does this say up here on the right? Oh, the Fairgrounds. This is the Eddy County Fairgrounds. How cool. We found the fairgrounds. I just love exploring places that mean something to me. So someday in the future, somebody says, well, that place, it's way off 13th Street, way outside of town. And I'll go, oh, I know where that is. I've been there. I know what you're talking about. Is it past the fairgrounds or the oil field supply place? I'm like, how did you know that? Because I drive around places. A lot of open fields here. Not much out here to talk about, is there? But that's information in itself. I wonder if there are any oil pumps out here. I don't see any. Not much at all. In this lifestyle, you get to do what I'm doing. You get to explore the various areas where you stay and get to be knowledgeable. And the more you explore and the more you discover, the more you feel part of the community. And an interesting thing to think about when you're driving through places like this that you may think, oh, it's boring. Well, you know what? This is clearly up here a group of trees that is some kind of farm, right? Right here. It's all fenced off. It's a farm. It looks boring, right? Or the most important thing in someone's life is right there that we just passed. And then up here, there's a house all by itself. It's a big one out on the left here. And that house is probably the most important piece of land in someone's heart and family, right there. That's not boring. When you think about that, that's not boring at all. And we're going to have to go by it because the road is ending up here. Four Dingus Road is what it's called. And this is, look at this house here, probably considered maybe a ranch. But to someone, that's a super important place in their life, as it should be. And each one of these houses has someone living in it with a family history, with hopes, dreams, sorrows, tragedies, triumphs. Every single one of the places you pass by has a story worthy of a Hollywood movie. Every one. There's this show that used to say something like, there's 3 million stories in this naked city of ours, and tonight here's one. I never forgot that. I heard that when I was a kid. I'm going, that's right, there's that many stories out there, and we're gonna see one tonight. I don't know what show that was. If anybody can remember, tell me what that was. But when you start looking at things with that perspective, the landscape going by pretty quickly stops being boring. Now, up here is a highway, Highway 285. We've been up and down it a dozen times. So we're going to go to the other side and see what stories are on the other side of the highway. I'm going to be careful because people go really fast here. This is a divided highway. We take no chances. And we're going to be on Eddy County Route 39 across here. We'll zip across here. They sure didn't like that, did they? Did you hear him honk? We're not in the middle of Artesia anymore, so the honk didn't count. But to give him, whoever that was, credit, that's 70. I think that's 70 miles an hour there, and it might have looked too close to them for comfort. Well, obviously, they wouldn't have beeped if it wasn't too close for their comfort. So that was the signal. Please don't do that again. And if I had a little time machine, I could boop, press a button, go back 30 seconds. I would have waited for him. Or I might have sped up a little. Better to wait though, right? So you don't need to speed up. There's a great family story on the left here with that beautiful green lawn and red brick and red brick house. And here's someone's farm on the right. And I thought, well, look at that green grass. That's not green grass. They're farming something there. I don't know what that is, but it's beautiful. Let's see what the sign says. Artesia Agriculture Science Center. Ooh. College of Agriculture, Consumer and Environmental Sciences Agricultural Experiment Station. Okay, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. I'm a little excited by that. How about you? And this road ends pretty soon, but there's a road up here at an intersection. We'll take a right, see where that goes. We could end up in a place where we have to turn around at a dead end, because I don't know anything about this, but we'll see. I see more agriculture, don't you? I'll do what I can to color grade this so you can see. It's a striking green, and I want to make sure that comes across, like on the left there. I want to make sure that comes across on your screen. And this is a pretty serious fence here. Well, it's a serious fence because I see an oil well, don't you? A working oil well on the right there. Yep, yes sir, bub. More than one. Got to protect those oil wells. That black gold, Texas tea. And up through the ground came a bubbling crude. Oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. And the kinfolk said, Jed, you gotta move away from there. California is the place you ought to be. So we loaded up the truck and he moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools, movie stars. Did you see all those birds? Can you see that? What are you little birds doing? That was cute. I hope you could see that. There's a lake road. I wonder if there's a lake down there, but we passed it. When I was a kid, I was a big fan of Beverly Hillbillies. What a great show. What a great concept, too. I mean, it's your typical fish out of water story, but it was done so well. And Ellie Mae, oh, I had such a little 8-year-old in me had such a crush on Ellie Mae Clampett. And Jethro was so handsome, but so dumb. And Granny in her kitchen cooking up victuals. They didn't make food, they cooked victuals. Couple of homesteads out here. Looks like this road is ending pretty soon. We'll have to make another turn, and who knows where we're gonna end up. We're just passing North Lake Boulevard. There might be a lake down there. I don't see one on the map though. But there's a little ways down here. I think off in the distance where you see those trees is where we're gonna make another left. Dottie's asleep, in case you're wondering. She's a sleeping dog. Until I just woke her up by saying her name. Sorry, Dottie. She's got everything she needs. She's got her bowl of water, her bed, little AC blowing on her. Well, the iPhone's holding up well, being in the sun, behind the windshield. The old iPhone 15 would have overheated by now, for sure. For sure. All right. So this is where this road ends, I think. And it's hard to tell. I think it turns to a dirt road straight ahead. So let's go left on Eddy County Route 38. And it's also called East Kincaid Ranch Road. And unfortunately, I think this may turn to a dirt road down here a ways. We'll see how it looks. But I'm surrounded kind of by oil wells that are pumping oil. Look, there are a couple of these green tanks here, but it looks like a huge old-fashioned satellite dish is out there. And there's a sign. Let's see what it says. Seven Rivers Farms, water for sale. So Seven Rivers is a little kind of ancient community here, but they're selling what? Seven Rivers Farm is selling water. I don't know how you buy it. There's no building or office there. And I see an oil pump on the left there that is not working. It's not moving. It's pretty rusted. So I would say dry well, right? I see a couple more on the right not moving. Yeah, all the oil wells I'm seeing out here are not pumping. Now, I don't know about the business, but I wouldn't surprise me if sometimes, the pressure gets low, so they shut them off for a while and then restart them. Would give pressure, the oil may build up again. I'm getting more and more Artesia viewers on the channel, and I'm betting some of them are oil people would know the answer to that question. And believe me, if you do, and you wonder if my viewers value informational comments, I'm here to tell you, absolutely yes, they do. So here it's bending to the right, and I thought I saw the shade of the road change thinking to go to, but that was just glare on the screen. I think it's going to continue to be good paved road out here. And I'm guessing this road was probably mainly constructed to get at these oil wells. I bought into, I think it was a gas oil well when I lived in Dallas. And a woman that I barely knew that was gorgeous sold me this share in a well for $5,000 and said, oh, you'll make $300 a month. And I wrote her a check, and I got a check from her the next month for $300, and then never heard from her again and couldn't find her. So she made a nice, neat $4,700 profit off me because I was a young guy that was swayed by a pretty face. And that was 25 years ago. And I couldn't even tell you what her name was. It should have been a clue when I was getting a personal check for the first month's pay. Rob, Rob, Rob. Oh, guess what? Guess what? We're going to dead end, folks. This is going to be the end of the line. So this is the good news is hardly anybody goes down here because there's no through traffic. And local people are going to wonder, who's that fool in that pickup truck that I've never seen before? Yeah, this is the end of the line, folks. So we're gonna turn around right here. Right here. And kind of go back the way we came, and we're reaching. I wanted to do about another 30-minute video, and I think I have succeeded in that. This little house here looks like it's for sale. Hey, that's funny. You know, the Century 21 is the name of the agency is Black Gold. So yeah, Black Gold, Dean and Nelson. It's a little mobile home out here on East Kincaid Ranch Road. And I'm going to guess you could get it for a song, because this is definitely not going to be valuable land. And the houses look all modular on the old side. So I think this land would be inexpensive. Unless, of course, you bought the piece of land and made arrangements to drill and you hit a gusher. I have this fantasy that on that gas well thing that I did, that the fantasy is, yeah, it really is registered my name and something happened to her and they didn't have my information, but they, other than my name and stuff. And then I have checked the state website in Texas a couple of times for unclaimed property. And the fantasy is, here's an unclaimed gas well for Robert Wakely that has amassed, $50 million over the years. Not happening. Not going on. Not happening. All right. So I get it that this trip was interesting for a little while, but I don't think it's going to be very interesting at all going back over the same thing. So I'm going to end the video here and hope you enjoyed it. Take care.